It doesn't arrive with panic or failure. It arrives quietly when no one is watching. Many professionals assume feeling behind comes from mistakes, from poor choices or lack of discipline. But that feeling often appears inside stable lives, lives that followed the expected path correctly. There is work, income, and visible progress. And still, the sense of being late begins to form. The workday ends without ceremony. The office lights turn off one by one. You stay seated a few minutes longer than necessary. Not working, just not leaving yet. The commute home feels familiar and quiet. Traffic moves slowly through the same streets. The radio plays without being heard. A notification appears from someone you know. A promotion announcement. A new house photo. A milestone shared casually. You arrive home later than planned. Shoes come off near the door. The kitchen table waits without urgency. Dinner happens without much thought. The calendar on the wall shows next week already full. Paperwork sits unopened in the empty room. The evening stretches quietly. Nothing is wrong. And yet, something feels off. The comparison happens automatically. You do not invite it. It appears on its own. They are the same age as you. They started around the same time. They seem further ahead now. You begin replaying decisions silently. Not the bad ones, the reasonable ones, the safe ones, the ones that made sense at the time. You wonder when the gap opened. You wonder if you noticed it forming. The word behind feels heavy. Heavy because it implies failure. But nothing obviously failed. You worked hard. You stayed consistent. You were responsible. So why does it feel like you arrived late? Late to security. Late to freedom. Late to comfort. The fear is not dramatic. It is subtle and persistent. A quiet suspicion that time moved faster than expected. This moment is not about comparison alone. It is about awareness arriving late. Early in a career, progress feels linear. Effort appears directly connected to outcome. Time feels generous and forgiving. Later, progress becomes less visible. Effort maintains position instead of advancing it. The calendar fills faster than milestones appear. Responsibilities accumulate quietly. They anchor you in place. Careers stabilize, but flexibility shrinks. Life becomes structured around maintenance. Maintenance does not feel like progress. It feels like holding ground. The realization comes slowly. You are no longer building forward. You are preserving what already exists. That shift changes how success feels. You did not fail. You followed a script designed for another stage of life. The script did not warn you when it expired. After this realization, time feels different. You notice it passing more quickly. Weeks collapse without clear memory. Months blur together through routine. Planning feels heavier than before. Long-term thinking brings tension instead of excitement. You become cautious with decisions, not from fear, but from awareness of cost. The cost of starting over, the cost of changing direction, the cost of losing stability. You begin protecting what you have built, even when it limits you. The feeling of being behind does not fade. It settles quietly into daily life. It appears during late evenings, during quiet commutes, during moments meant for rest. It does not demand attention. It waits patiently. You become more aware of age without counting it, not in numbers, but in energy. Recovery takes longer. Focus requires more effort. Time off feels shorter than before. You begin measuring life differently, not by ambition, but by endurance. You notice how much is already decided. Fixed schedules, fixed expenses, fixed expectations. Flexibility becomes rare. Opportunity feels conditional. Conditional on health, conditional on timing, conditional on things staying stable. The awareness deepens quietly. You are not behind because you failed. You are behind because time moved faster than expected. This realization changes how money feels. Money stops representing possibility. It begins representing protection. Protection from disruption. Protection from loss of ground. You save defensively. You spend cautiously. Every decision carries weight. Weight shaped by future uncertainty. You realize how narrow margins feel, even with stable income. The sense of being behind grows stronger. Not financially, temporally. You feel behind the version of life you imagined earlier. The version that felt more open, more flexible, more forgiving. The moment you realize you are behind is quiet. It does not announce itself as failure. It feels like awareness arriving late. Awareness that time is no longer generous. Awareness that stability has limits. And awareness that the script never warned you.